I haven't seen the. Got it. Nice.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to our July coffee meeting. Happy to have you here. Just some housekeeping from me. We're going to place everybody on mute so that because we're recording, we want to make sure that everyone can hear pretty well. You will be able to unmute yourself if you have a question, or feel free to use the chat box because we will be checking it. While you're at it and waiting for the rest of the folks to come, please enter your name, your company, and email address so we can all get to know you on the chat. All right. Let's see. We have 3 more people coming in, Tracy. Then I'm going to hand it off to you.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Okay.
And Mr. Art Vecchio, I know I owe you an email. I promise I will get you that this week.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Miller and Mr. Eckstein joining us. All right. Okay, Tracy, it's all yours.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're
I see that we just had Mr. Miller and Mr. Eckstein join us. Awesome. Welcome. So this is our last coffee meeting before the Great Lakes Show. So excited about that. The board is eyeball deep into planning the show and fleshing out the agenda for all of you. Obviously, you know, we're looking for feedback, so there's still time. If there's any information that you'd like to see for the show, since it's in your backyard, please email us, text us, call us. Let us know if there's anything that you would like to see, if there's any information that you would like to hear. If there's anybody that you would like to meet, there's several of us that know somebody. We can definitely do a warm introduction, so please take advantage of that. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tracy Raymer. I am the president of the Illinois Limousine and Bus Association. So I only have a couple of minutes. We're getting ready to go to an on-site visit. So I think once the bus starts rolling here, I have a feeling it's going to be too loud. So really quick, I'm just going to talk about the show and then I'll turn it over to the board and then they will manage the rest of the meeting. And I am positive, confident that they will do a great job. So back to the show. Starting out, it's going to be in Schaumburg. It's at the Renaissance Center in Schaumburg at the Renaissance Hotel. A great location, plenty of parking, has quite a few restaurants there for us to meet up, for us to network, get to know each other. It's going to start on Tuesday, August 13th. You probably have already seen some blasts going out and some social media posts. If you wouldn't mind, please comment. Let us know if you're coming. Please share some of the posts if you could. Just let the industry know. Again, this is our second show that we are hosting, and it's for the entire Midwest. So anybody that you know in the Midwest, anybody that maybe they don't have the opportunity to go to the big shows, but they would like to see, you know, what it's like going to a show. I think this is a great example of attending. And if you like it, I think then you'll be amazed at what our Vegas show is, our fall show for CD, NLA. But this is a great opportunity to dip your toe in the water and see what it's all about. I know that you'll be amazed if you haven't attended one yet. So starting off on Tuesday, August 13th, Mr. Jim Luff is going to host our Before Business Speed networking event. I understand that he did this in Florida and it was extremely successful. So looking forward to that. And what I can say is that anybody that's looking to get into affiliate work, you're looking to meet new affiliates, you're looking to either receive or send out affiliate work. So if you've got customers that are traveling in other cities, which I know every single one of you do, this is a great event to find affiliates in other cities and to meet affiliates in other cities. And I know this is a Midwest show, so a lot of your competitors will be attending. However, don't look at them as competitors. There's not one single one of you, me included, that can handle every single group that comes by. We have to rely heavily on our friendly competitors and network together and send affiliate work back and forth to each other. And that's the way that you make money. That's the way that you grow. It's a beautiful thing. So use that event, the Before Business Speed networking, use that event to, and I'm sorry, is it too loud?
Nope.
use that event to meet other affiliates, get to know each other. And like I said, you pass information back and forth, and it's just great to have those relationships. Right now, we are also working on a lunch break. We're still working out the logistics of that. I believe it's going to be some kind of a box lunch. So I think you're either going to have to sign up for that. So look for that in the registration. And like I said, in the next, by the end of this week, we should have that figured out. Then in the afternoon, we're going to have a session that is moderated by Carl Gunther from Ohio and Maya Adrin from Minnesota. And they're going to be moderating a session for smaller operators and that are wanting to grow their business, wanting to be more profitable. How do you get your foot in the door? What do we do about insurance? What goes into receiving an insurance premium? So this is great for somebody that's starting out. And I know in the Chicagoland area, we have a lot of new operators. So this would be a great session for them. And anyone that's looking to grow your business so you can get out from behind the wheel and actually working on your business. And I think you'll find out when you hear from Maya and Carl that once you get out from behind the wheel, once you get out from answering every single phone call, that's when your business begins to blossom and start to explode a little bit. And it would just be a great session for you to ask questions there on how to make that happen. During the same time, we're also going to have a session for the larger operators on how to advance to the next level, such as succession. And you've spent years and years, 30, 40 years growing your business, and it's a large size business. What do you do now? Who do you send it to? Who do you give it to? Do you lease a building? Do you buy a building? What are the pros and cons? And then some of the tax advantages that go into it when you have, hundreds of employees, and what should you be looking for? So that will be going on at the same time. That will be a concurrent with the first session that I just told you about. After that, we'll have the Bus Success Symposium. That will be moderated by Tom Holden. I was just on a call putting that session together and fleshing out the content. That is going to be amazing for anybody that's running limousines, minivans, sprinter vans, mini coaches, because we're also going to have John Murphy. And those of you here in Chicago know Mr. John Murphy as our compliance officer that can put you out of business, but he works very, very hard with our industry to make sure you understand DOT regulations, and he is there to educate, and he feels very strongly about that. So that's a great opportunity for operators that just bought a sprinter van and they don't understand all the legalities and what you need for an operating authority. Take advantage of that to be able to ask John personally, what do I do? It's a great opportunity. And again, he is there. He wants to educate. He wants us all to be safe. After that, we've got our grand opening. We have a great lineup. So please let all of your friendly operators and competitors know that we have BACP, Rupel will be in attendance to talk about what's going on in Chicago. I know that we have a new commissioner coming in. We've got what is it? Chicago Department of Aviation. We're not sure who the speaker is yet, but they will be talking about O'Hare and the construction and what you can expect at O'Hare. For those of you that are at the airport every day, you will notice there are different signs in the livery lot. We have now been granted 1 hour in the taxi lot, whereas before it was within minutes. So they heard us, they listened to us. We now have 1 hour that we can stage in that taxi lot, in that taxi lot before going down the chute. So please let all of your chauffeurs know, don't take advantage of that. Don't ruin it for us. We need to keep that benefit. It's nice that we have that 1 hour. So again, that's due to the relationship that our association has with the airport and with the city of Chicago. And we need to respect that. Let's see. We're trying to get Choose Chicago to also attend. We're waiting to hear back from them. We will have the Central Region board members for the National Limousine Association in attendance. So Carl Gunther from Ohio, Maya from Minnesota, Michigan. And I'm sorry if I said Minnesota, I was wrong. Maya is from Michigan.
Yes.
And myself, as well as Sarah Mercer from the NLA, we will be there representing the Central Region and talk about anything that's going on, anything and everything going on with the NLA. So if you have questions there, that is your time to chat with each one of us. Then we'll have the ribbon cutting for the show floor. That is turning out to be exciting. It's filling up quickly. And then last but not least, for Tuesday, we have Nationwide Bus that is once again sponsoring our outing for that evening. It's going to be fun. It's going to be at Top Golf. They're providing the shuttle service. We jump on the shuttle, we go over the Top Golf, get to hit a ball, have some fun. We'll have a few competitions there, so I can't wait to see if I win for long drive or anything like that. I'm just starting to golf and learning how. And then there'll be food and snacks as well as drinks. So that's a great time. And thank you to Nationwide Bus and all of your connections for hosting that evening for us to spend an evening together. The next day, we've got Mr. James Blaine coming in from PAX Training that will be doing a seminar on defensive and safety driving, duty of care. So if you have any chauffeurs that you would like to send to that seminar, it's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I would highly advise that would be a great time to send your chauffeurs, or if you've got safety trainers, the same there. Then we're still working out. We've got a fireside chat. We do have confirmation from Mr. James Wang of Peoria Charter. We are excited about that and bringing the bus industry closer into our industry. Those of you that don't know James Wang, I think you will be inspired to hear his story and his passion for the industry. It's absolutely amazing. We're still working on that one. And then we've got 2 or 3 more sessions that we're fleshing out. One of them that I don't hear a lot of talk on, and we don't do a lot of work with it either, is the funeral sector. So we've got Jason Messenger from BBZ in New Jersey. He is coming in to talk about the work that he does with funeral homes. He literally has a funeral division. He's got hearses in his fleet. He does well over $1 million with funeral business. The good thing is that it happens during the week, during our slower times, during the week for our chauffeurs. So it's just a great segment of business that's available to every single one of us. So we have a lot of information coming on how to get into the funeral business, how to manage that type of business, and if that's something for you or not. Let's see. And after those sessions, and then we'll all get together just like we did last year and kind of have a cocktail, maybe some appetizers at the end of the day, and just kind of celebrate the show and celebrate seeing all of you. So you are all welcome to join that. Paula, James, did I miss anything as far as our plans for the show? And if everybody could register, the registration link is out there, is start registering so that we can start planning for the number and the attendance that we expect. But that is all that I have, and I
We
can't
would
wait.
like to beat Florida's attendance of 200.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be
Question.
awesome? Yes, Tim.
Is parking at the Renaissance Convention Center free, or is that
Yes,
something
it's
paid
free.
daily?
And you don't have to walk 2 miles like last show. So it's great.
Is this a 1-day show or a 2-day show?
2-day show. We
Okay.
start on the 12th, we start on the 13th, and we end on the 14th.
Next
So
question.
start Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. That gives you a chance
Just trying to
to,
make the hotel reservations. That's what I want to make sure.
yes.
So thank you.
Kurt, we know
welcome.
you live,
and the
we
last
know you
thing
live
I
in a
want to
van down by the river. So, next question is if there's going to be like a box lunch that we're supposed to request, what it is that we need to sign up for.
We
whether or not-
haven't finalized all that yet.
Okay,
We'll send out a
but-
communication for it.
Okay, but Tracy said that was something to do with registration, which is why I'm confused that registration
For
is open.
anyone who already registered, they'll get a communication once we decide what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for asking though. Okay, does somebody else had a question?
Yeah, and it's getting kind of loud here.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I want to mention is after you're done with your segment today, and if there's time for some Q&A and time for some discussion, we would love your feedback for the one session that we have. For those that are doing under 2 million, or maybe even just a fleet of 10 vehicles or whatever, what is it that you're looking for? What is it do you think that operators are seeking? What information can we find for you to get to that next level? And if you could just brainstorm some ideas on that. I believe Paula and James are on that committee, putting that session together. But that would be a great conversation and just love to have your feedback on that one.
I would think automation would be a big topic. Automation and AI,
Yeah,
what people are using to help. What are smaller operators using to help, compete? So
I think what would be great is we'll see what the topics are, and then we also have other events coming up the rest of the year. So if it's one that like AI or technology where we want to take a full session, we'll do that too. We're just making sure we've been interviewing a few operators to get feedback, and I think we've gotten quite a bit, but we want to make sure we don't miss anything that might also be helpful for you. All right. Anything else?
No, that is it. So I want to thank all of you for allowing me this time and just to talk about the show a little bit. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you there. August 13th, August 14th, please register. And with that, I'm going to sign off and hope you all have a great meeting, and we'll see you next month.
And I knew the bus was moving because your head and the seat started moving.
It's
So
shaking.
you,
Yeah.
you were shaking, but it's not that loud. But thank you, Tracy,
It's my mobile office for the day.
for several weeks. Okay.
By the way, you sound, there's no background noise. You sound crystal clear coming in.
Yeah, you really did, by the way.
Oh,
Better
good, 'cause
than
it's
yesterday's
noisy as
meeting.
all heck on my side of it here.
Yeah, no,
But
actually very good.
Is that the
we
loose
couldn't tell.
box? I'm just kidding.
All right. I'm gonna bring us back around. That was the end of the presentation because I wasn't sure Tracy would make it. So we finished the end. Now we're gonna go back to the beginning. All right. So again, we're gonna place you on mute. If you haven't introduced yourself, please no marketing, but introduce your name, company, where you're located, and contact. Okay, so everybody gets to know you. All right. So again, we thank you for joining us. And you, as many of you have been part of these meetings, I won't belabor the history, but for those who have, I see a few new people. We started these during COVID as a way to stay connected with our membership and provide a forum for news and education because we really couldn't get together for quite a while. As you see, we open these meetings to everyone, whether you're an ILLBA member or not, but I really would encourage you, and so with Jim and Bill, to consider becoming an ILLBA member. I think it's a great way to grow your business. Our membership is growing strong at 115 members, which in our history, we've never had anything that large. So we're thrilled about the membership and the reach. So if you have questions about it, you can ask me, Bill, James, any of us, or from our present members too. All right. So let's get right to it. I'm gonna introduce our speaker today. He really doesn't need an introduction, but we'll give him one anyway. Yeah, I know. I like saying that. So James Jordan is.
I'm always the tallest guy in the room, but it's hard to tell when I'm sitting down.
Well, yeah, that's because you're in a
I
lower
was going to
chair. I
say, you're
bet he was
constantly
nodding his
talking
head.
down to people. You are constantly talking down to people.
Right. So anyway, so let me
Yes.
let me introduce to you all James Jordan, who's been on our board for several years now. James is the owner of Lux Trucks Transportation, and he has a philosophy that he believes strongly in building relationships with clients, affiliates, and business leaders. As the owner of his own marketing agency for several years, he brought new, modern, and fresh ideas and designs to today's challenging transportation industry. He has local and national limousine companies have used him in the past for logo and business card design. In addition, he has also created marketing campaigns to target specific groups or businesses that led into new revenue streams for multiple livery companies. He's also responsible for the ILLBA Great Lakes Transportation logo. And we are happy to have that and drive him crazy with it. He can help anyone from the one-car operator to the large limousine company improve their bottom line by using professional yet inexpensive marketing campaigns. I am going to turn it over to Jim. Would you like me to
Wow,
share
that
the
was
screen?
a long speech. I'm gonna hit share screen. Is that okay?
Yes, I just did it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no,
make sure.
yeah, you do it. I'm going to give you permission.
Okay, we'll open the screen, select the window you want to share. Let's see if we can do this.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Tim, about Amazon Prime. That was really good. All right.
Can everybody see my screen or no?
No. I'm not even
Really?
seeing the button yet.
Hold on.
Okay,
1 second. I hit share screen. Do this. All right, now I can, right?
yes, perfect.
So let me
Thank
go
you.
into the file.
Do you have the lottery numbers for tonight on here too? No? Okay,
I wish.
right.
I still got tickets to change from next year. All right, so I'm going to start with some really basic things that most of you know about. And I know we talked a little bit about this networking event coming up at the coffee meeting. Now, Paul and I discussed this the other day. We've been to several of the NLA meetings. It's amazing to me how many people on their business cards don't have where they're from, their address, just has their phone number, their email address. So if you want to get business from other affiliates or even other clients, at least let them know what area you provide service in. So it's amazing that people don't put down, Chicago or Kansas City or whatever in their card. So this is just a copy of my card. I want everybody to see that, it's obvious, and, granted, we do provide service all over, but make sure that when you're doing these networking meetings and the events, that your business card has all the proper information on it. A lot of people do digital ones now too. I get that. But that's all this information has to be on that also. And there is, and I didn't get a copy, I didn't do a picture of it, but one of the companies now has one now you can wear around your wrist. So you don't have to show a card. All they do is scan your wrist with the phone and your information shows up. So that's pretty neat. So I'm sure that you'll see probably that at the shows coming up. So that's pretty obvious. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to know that, especially if you're a new operator on here and you haven't printed up business cards yet for an event. Make sure you have all the proper information on there so everybody knows how to contact you. This whole industry is about, customer service, answering your phone. Because if you don't answer your phone, you don't give a quote or take an order, all you're going to do is call the next operator. People, in this business usually don't wait, for a return call if they want something right away. It's true of a lot of businesses. They want to be serviced right away. Or if you have an app, for booking reservations on your website or your phone, they use that, of course. But so I won't spend much time on this because that's pretty basic. I want to go into some of those small things that we do. I don't spend a ton of money on marketing per se. I had a driver that left me to open his own place, and he told me he's spending $4,000 to $5,000 a month for Google AdWords and SEO, which I think is, I don't want to say, but I think it's a little high, a little ridiculous. We have never spent more than about 500, 700 hours a month on marketing. And we've already grown. We were growing maybe 20 to 25% per year. So I just want, which is sustainable, but we just don't spend a ton on the actual marketing. Yeah, it takes time. It takes money to design and create your pieces, but once they're designed, getting them out. So we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so this is kind of one of the pieces I want to say. This is a postcard that we use, that we mail out to certain areas. So I believe in controlling your own backyard. We have a lot of operators who are happy to take rides and go 25 to 30 miles to go pick up their client in market in areas farther away from them. That takes gas and time to be able to go do that. Before I ever want to leave an area, I want to control my own area. So we target to specific areas that we want to service around us. So here is a suburb right next door to me, Western Springs, one I grew up in. So this postcard gets mailed out to everybody in Western Springs, was designed and mailed out to them. We also use this in an ad that we place in a local magazine there for about $300 a month for 1 year. I give everything, 1 year trial, if you will, because you mostly have to sign a 1 year contract with them. Now you could do postcards in area just by pulling up by zip code, and it'll tell you basically what the income is in certain areas in that zip code. The zip +4. And you don't even have to know the addresses. You just got to put that section, bring them to the post office, and they'll deliver them. So you don't have to put postage on it. You just pick how many you want to go out. You pick the area you want to go to, and they'll deliver it for you. So for me to do this town of about, I want to say it's maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people, maybe a little bit more of that. I think it was actually more than that. It's about 5,000. Come think about it. Was about $800 total to mail this all out. So we get a decent return on this. The other thing we do is we take those postcards and we have a poster. I'm going to say this is Chicago here, but I mean, it said Western Springs on it. We designed the poster for that area. It's just basically the same poster, but it goes in different areas. And we put it in the car wash. So the car wash we go to every day allows us to put this poster in the car wash for $300 for the year, which is nothing. And then this postcard is up by the front desk or by the cashier when people check out. This $300 so far from this one car wash I put it in this year has made me more than $20,000. I have one client that every time she goes to the car wash, she takes a picture of this, of her by this picture, and sends it to me and posts it, on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I don't ask her to do it. She just does it every single time she goes to the wash. She thinks it's hilarious and send it to me. So, that's good publicity for me. I'm not paying for it that much, but I will say this poster in the car wash has definitely earned me more money than just about any magazine I've ever advertised in, or marketing wise, and it's only been in there for a year and a half now. So
It's like $25 a month. That's it.
$25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then people notice me at the car wash. I mean, the owner knows me because I'm in there every day, but the other clients notice me because of this. They ask me, there was a roofing guy that I met in the car wash. He advertises in there too. He has a poster in there also. And I had him come out to give me a quote because I needed a new roof. I had 3 quotes. They were all the same price. I ended up finding somebody for 25% less than the other 3 quotes because I asked a really good client of mine and he referred them and they turned out to be wonderful. Anyways, this gentleman called me yesterday to see if I still need a roof. I said, no, I already got it done. I got this great rate, blah, blah, blah. He goes, well, I'm happy for you. By the way, I need a limo sprinter to the Metallica concert for the next 2 nights. I didn't even use this guy for business. I met him at the car wash and now he's, booking a limo through us for 2 nights, or a sprinter van actually, for 2 nights. And that just happened yesterday because he saw this stuff in the car wash. So, just little things like this can pay off. And I'm going to show you some other pieces, but I want you to notice something in here. I'm going to just say it. I believe in branding. So a lot of our pieces have some similarities to them. You're going to see, because sometimes people need to see things multiple times before they jump on it. And branding is done. Some people believe branding is done after you've already built a business and you can do it. Like Coca-Cola doesn't need to advertise, really. They make enough money as it is, but they do branding. If they put their logo on something, they're not getting business. This is branding. But I want everybody to think that branding needs to start in the beginning. We put together a template. We put together branding and style guidelines. So everything, has the same font, the same, colors, etc. It's all done professionally. So people can see, hey, every time they see a marketing piece come from us, it looks professional, artistic, and that brand sticks in their head. And that's because we're promoting a luxury business. So you need to kind of think that when you're designing your pieces, that you're promoting a luxury business. So your pieces need to be, luxurious in some way too, and professional. You don't have to spend a ton of money on it, but I'm sure a lot of you have been in a limo show like I have and seen marketing pieces from many other companies around the country. A lot of them are pretty poor. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say everybody's marketing piece. I mean, some of them have, I look back that they're using stuff from the 80s still, colors from the 80s or style guidelines that were way outdated. So think of modernizing your stuff if you haven't in a while, updating it, giving it a fresh new look, but pick a style guideline that you can stay with on certain things. Your font, your logo, et cetera, how you design your pieces, et cetera. All right. I'm going to talk a little about charities. One of the ways we built was 2 ways we basically built our business in the beginning. I believe you need to find a niche. You need to find your niche in a market. You cannot be everything to everybody. It's just not possible. So if you want to build your business, you need to find a niche and how best to market that niche. So you can kind of control a good percentage of that niche. So when I first started my business, the niche I went after were single professional traveling females, corporate females. And we did that because of security reasons at the time. Uber was getting a lot of bad press about problems with females, of course. And at the time, we were doing marketing for another limousine company. And I found this niche and they didn't want to take advantage of it. And I don't know why. And so I decided, well, you're not, I'm going to. So I started my own company at that time. That's when I started it. Well, in 8 months, I had more clients than they had, and they'd been in business 20 years. So literally with less than a year, I had more clients than they had. Basically going after the single professional female. And the way we did it is we marketed those females, but we marketed it with security saying, we're going to give you the name, the phone number of the driver, the type of car, and the plate number. If you get there and that car is any different, you don't get into it. And even when we're doing affiliate work, we require that information from, for single traveling females, or mostly for all clients, but especially the females beforehand. If you switch drivers and cars, which I know happens in our business, they have to let us know. And then we text the client right away, even if they're on an airplane, saying, hey, this is the car you're going to get into now. We had to switch drivers. So they know everything from the start till they get in the car, that their safety is paramount to us. So we ended up doing a large cosmetic company out of New York and handling all their female corporate executives when they traveled to Chicago. And eventually we ended up doing it nationwide for them after they saw the service that we're providing with the security we're providing. So that was a little niche that we started with in the beginning, or I started with about 5 years ago. Good timing for me. I think I started about 1 year prior to the pandemic, Paula, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yes.
about a year prior to the pandemic hit, and I'm like, oh boy. But knock on wood, I had other income coming in. It wasn't a huge deal to us, but during the pandemic, we still marketed and we still did things that we needed to do. So we knew that when it was over, we were still in front of people, and it did help us. So we also work a lot with charities. This is our second thing that I want to talk about. I think in your local market, you need to work with charities that you believe in. Don't work with, by the way, don't work with large, I don't want to say don't work, but it's hard to work with the large nationwide charities like United Way, things like that, because a lot of their money goes to their overhead as opposed to out. But I also believe in working with charities that you feel a connection with. I think it just makes it easier for you to service those people. You have some empathy for them, et cetera. So we work with a local cancer charity in our area that provides different programs for people who have been diagnosed with cancer and their families. We work with another one that all professional females, young professional females, which is our clientele. Anyways, I also find a charity that also has the clientele I want, that I go after, and this one did. And they do a lot of money raising money for other local charities in town. So this is just a voucher we used. This is one of the things that we donated to one of our clients when they asked us for a donation. We provide these vouchers. Now, I've had this discussion with many other people. I'm going to say less than half of these vouchers ever get redeemed.
Yeah, we had that conversation, you and I, last
Right.
week. Yep.
So,
Very
it's not
significant.
like it, number one. Number two, and I don't know how many owners still drive or don't drive. I mean, if I was to drive this client, what am I losing? Gas money, a little bit of my time. But even if you have another driver do it, you can't not get advertising, for what you're really doing for this.
I think the point to be made here too is that the individuals who are going to these charitable events are making charity donations. So even if they, win this, or it's given to them, it's part of their charitable giving, and a lot of them just by principle won't take the free trip and things like
Right.
that.
And by the way, it's a tax write-off for you too. So
Absolutely is.
it's not a bad thing. Now we make sure that we get their logo. So we brand it with their logo because I want to brand them too, because I think that helps rather than just giving them a handwritten gift certificate. We want to make it look a little special. We do have an expiration date on the bottom. So it's only good for 1 year from the date that we donated. And it has, they're responsible for the tip, et cetera. So it has all the rules at the bottom. And we also put let me go back to that. We also put a number on the bottom too, usually a voucher number. So we know that when it gets redeemed that there's only one of them. I put the date on there, I donate, but that 001 at the end means we only donated one to that charity. If I donate 2 or 3, there'd be, I would send 3 PDFs. One would have a 2, one would have a 3. So that way you can track it, number one, which one's used, and number two, you don't want other people going and making copies of them too, using them multiple times, but you have to, make sure that this is. Now, most charities will put this in a basket with something else, like with tickets to a concert, a trip, whatever, and include it in. They're not going to auction this off separately because the value technically isn't there for them to do that, but they include it with something else. But it's still good for you. The other thing we do a lot of, even more so than this, is once we pick this specific charity that we want to work with that has a clientele we want, we donate a percentage of all the rides back to the charity. Now that percentage is based on what you want to do, but they're happy to do that. Then they go market you to the rest of their clients and their members that are part of their charity. So they're doing all the marketing for you. So we do this for one charity. They market us on all their newsletters, the website, anytime they do events, et cetera, et cetera. And we write a check every year to them. And that check's usually between, $1,000 and $2,000. in that general range, based on what their usage is. So that's not all bad with that they're doing your marketing for you and promoting you to their members. Now, once their members come in and sign up and use you, they're going to religiously use you after that once they're in. You know, I would say a good percentage of our business, I mean, it depends on what you consider percentage, but maybe 5 or 10%, maybe a little bit more or less, depending on, is from a charity that they did the marketing for us. And those people have stayed on our books for years, for a couple, 2 or 3 years at least so far since we started doing it. So, find a local charity in your town that you want to work with, that you believe in, and discuss it with them. It's worked wonders with us. We've used this in other markets because we've helped other operators do this. And it doesn't have to be the charity. We had a gentleman in Florida who wanted to get into this very exclusive club and get their limo business, and he couldn't. And he had a couple of members or a couple of clients that were in the club, but he didn't have the whole club. So he promoted to his members, hey, which charity, do you work with? And we're happy to donate a percentage of your rides to that charity. And once they did that, the 2 members up in the club, they told other members about the club, and he got in with that club. It was a backdoor approach. And I know we're going to talk about this at the event coming up in August, about how to get past the gatekeeper. How do you get into businesses that you normally won't? I believe in using a backdoor approach. I don't go in the front door and try to get past the secretary or the gatekeeper if I can help it, because you're going to fail many, many times. We look for warm introductions. We even use this as an introduction too sometimes, because they're happy to donate money to the charity, to get money for their charity in their name. So I'm going to move on to, let's see, what's our next one here? Did I show you? I showed you the poster. Okay. Oh, that's a little big, huh? Let me see if I can shrink this down a little bit. Or not. Huh. Well, this is a Facebook. So we do a lot of Facebook posts also in our own group. Let me see if I can get this. Like, hold on 1 second. Exit out of this real quick. If I can. All right, so there we go. That's easier to see. So we have Lollapalooza coming to Chicago. Now this is from last year. So we post stuff all the time with regarding events when they're coming to Chicago. So we have a business Facebook page and of course my personal Facebook page. I always post when events are happening on my personal Facebook page. Now, the people that know I'm in the business on my personal Facebook page, I know they get it, they're going to use this. But a lot of times they share that with their friends, or they share it with their business people, in the corporate stuff, or even on Instagram, people share it. And I get a lot of calls for events just based from clients that saw it, but who aren't already my clients or friends, just because of the fact it was shareable. Or working with affiliates, we post sometimes in some of the limo groups that you guys know on Facebook for events. So make sure that you're doing a religious campaign for events that are in your area for Facebook and Instagram, both your personal and your corporate ones, because all that stuff gets shared. I don't pay for Facebook advertising. I know some people do. I don't send this out that way. I just put it so everybody in my immediate group knows, and they share it. We have a concert this weekend in Chicago coming up at Soldiers Field. Just off this post right now, for a concert that's coming up this weekend, when we did a post, we have 2 sprinters and 6 SUVs going. So on charters, so we have 8 charters going already on Saturday, just based on doing things like this. So it's not, the most difficult thing to do, but you need to set up your campaign and set up the dates. Know when your events are happening in your area. Set up your campaign dates so you know when to post this prior to campaign. Have everything created. We basically go in January. I mean, we're working in December for the following year, like November, December for the following year. So we know what's coming up. And then we're creating these campaigns. So by the end of January, the campaigns for the whole year are all done and designed and ready to go. And the date that they need to be posted is already done. It's all electronic format. So it's not that difficult to do. I mean, you could basically do all this in a few hours or maybe half a day on a slow day. And when you're, here we do it in the wintertime when our business is down a little bit. But at least be prepared for the next year. You have to think in advance for marketing. You know, people that think that you can market today and the phones will start ringing tomorrow, it's just not going to happen. You know, it needs to go in advance, be ready to go, be consistent in your marketing. Again, you can see that we believe in branding. One of our branding techniques and styling techniques is, you know, with events, we have a logo, we have the outline around the outside. I mean, that's going to be, you're going to see that in many of our things that we do. I'm going to pull up another one here too. Our gentleman, Tim, in Kansas, he does holiday light tours. So we create a piece for that too. Tim, I think you just posted yesterday that you got your first reservation for Christmas lights yesterday. You know, literally, he got a reservation for his first holiday light tour in July, which is quite amazing. Now, I didn't even think about that until I saw your post yesterday about marketing it already, you know, for Christmas time this early. But that's not a horrible idea. You know, that's a big event for you in Kansas City, in the Kansas market, right? You shake your head. It's a big event. It's a big moneymaker for him. In our market, that's a little slow time of year for us. So why not start marketing it now and start filling it up? Put together your holiday light tour package. Find out where the holiday lights are in your area. Come up with a price for that tour. You market it. I know Tim will help you with some of the ideas he has for holiday light tours and what he's done. But you got to start thinking ahead now. And I would agree that maybe you might start marketing this by September or in September even, if not sooner. But don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait till Thanksgiving. You know, these do book up fast, and you might as well start, you know, filling the reservations in your book.
You'll find a presentation
for-
that did, oh, I'm sorry, Tim. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, for the record, for somebody that wants to pay me in July, I have no problem giving them the year before's rate. I typically update my rates in September. It's just they get an early bird rate by booking and paying this far in advance is ultimately what it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I totally agree.
yeah.
Hey, $1 now is still worth $1 more. You know, like they say, $1 today is still worth more than $1 even 6 months from now. With, you know,
If you
with the
go
way
to our
inflation's even going.
YouTube, if you also go to our YouTube channel, you'll find the video, the recording where Tim actually did a presentation last fall. So
That's a good call. Yeah, the ILBA, Tim did a lunch meeting. Yes, there's a video of his meeting discussing light tours. That's a good. Thank you, Paul. That's a good observation.
You can always offer it as a Christmas in July promo as well. So not you're going to see Christmas lights now, but book it now, celebrating Christmas in July. It's an idea.
yeah, all the
Correct.
retail stores do it. So you're right. Yeah.
So this is again another idea promoting New Year's Eve. Make sure of course you're going to increase your rates for New Year's Eve, but you can start promoting it, you know, sooner rather than later. Again, get it in advance. This is a great piece we designed. You know, literally says Happy New Year from Lux Tux on the Chicago marquee, Chicago Theater marquee. The logo on the side. So again, think of style, think of professional, think of your branding. This is all about branding to some degree. And I'll show you one more before I get into, this is a Valentine's Day one. So again, professional, we got the champagne, the red bow. I thought originally that red bow wasn't on the box was there, and I thought the red bow kind of tied in with the red and black color scheme. So we added the red bow. But again, these events, plan in advance, start planning in advance. And if you want ideas on how to market it, if you want ideas on creation, et cetera, feel free to reach out to me. You can email me at james@luxtux.com, and I'll be happy to help you as much as I can. And then we have, of course, the Democratic Convention coming up here in Chicago. You know, so we already started, hopefully, marketing for some of that. We have the Republicans this week up in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee is a tough area as far as having enough supply up there, enough limos up there, because it's a small market. So a lot of us, it's only about 90 miles or less from us. So we're already doing some work up there. So feel free to, you know, start looking for events in your area. So that's all I'm going to discuss is events. I mean, events, know in advance, plan in advance, design great professional marketing pieces, work with your local chamber of commerce. Some of you do, some of you don't, but it's a good, I think you should all join chambers of commerce in your local area. Whatever you can join in your backyard that helps you network in your backyard, is only going to help you control your area and get you to know. We believe in relationship marketing. That's one of my things. If you want, I'll go back to this poster here real quick. So I want to show something that is actually in our mission statement when I started the company. I don't know if you can see it in the bottom, but it says our mission is to provide an exemplary and safe customer experience backed by first-class service as if every passenger was a member of our family. So I wanted to make sure that relationship marketing and our relationships with our clients. Now, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday who said, well, we're too big to do this. I don't know if you're ever too big to do relationship marketing with your clients. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think some of us are in that small to mid-size, boutique type companies where we still can. I try to drive my clients as an owner, and I know this can't be for everybody, but I try to drive my clients once every 6 or 7 or 8 times, just so I can still be in front of them, talk to them, ask them what's going on, but also to know, hey, what's their birthday, what's their anniversary dates. I don't ask them, but sometimes they're talking about it in the car, and I make a note of it. And then we send flowers out to Tim. Go ahead real quick.
I was going to say a couple of years ago, there was an event that you had people like Tim Rose and David Seelinger and Scott Salambrino that said ultimately 90% of their business was working outside of the business, working on the business and not in the business. And I think the big takeaway from that is that to work on the business, it is relationship marketing. It's going out and it's introducing yourself with other people. So to sit there and say that you're too big to do relationship marketing, I think is the exact opposite of what really needs to be done.
I agree. I agree. I think the minute
are all about relationships.
I think sometimes you forget what got you to that point in the first place. If you got to that point, you were doing something right. If you got big, right? Your cars were clean, you're doing relationship marketing. Why get away from the successful model that got you to that point just because you got to be a good size? You can have people help you with it, you can still do it, but it's got to still be a hands-on approach from the owner. People want that contact. They want to feel that they still have that contact. Going back to the point of the birthdays and the anniversary, we send flowers out to the females on their birthdays. We just did one recently. She posted on Instagram saying, "Oh my God, thank you, Lux Tux," et cetera, et cetera. Instagram went out to her friends. We ended up getting a referral off of that from one of her friends who saw that. Oh, I saw Kate, I saw Kate's posting, are you available this weekend? Again, and that one lady, and we've sent the flowers, that one lady's referred us about 15 clients already that are on our books, just in referrals. Again, those flowers cost me $80 to $100, but I got 15 clients off of that in a year's time. What are you going to pay in advertising to get that 15 clients? It's just, you're going to pay way more than $100. So just little things like that. The men, we send them, we may send them if they're golfers, we send them a round of golf at a local golf course or a gift card. You can think of things for them. Anniversaries, we always send something for their anniversaries, and even call and send them out a card saying happy anniversary. I also make a personal phone call to them on those dates. So again, start listening. People don't listen up. They want to talk, but you have 2 ears. And a lot of this information they're talking about in the car. You just got to make a mental note of it and keep track of it if you're going to see them, or let your drivers know, or even feel free to ask your clients, what's your birthday? What's your anniversary date? Again, I strongly believe in relationship marketing. We've been told we're very professional that way. I don't go into businesses in the front door, looking for that approach. I will look and see do I have clients who already have a clientele that is specific, that is in that niche that I want. And then I ask my client, hey, are you able to make a warm introduction for me? Are you able to introduce me? And that happens all the time.
Can I add a couple things?
And let me just finish one thing. We also offer our client, when they do that, we do give them a free ride, a free this, or money. I don't tell them up front that, hey, if you do this, I will give you this. I never say that. I don't want it to be a quid pro quo.
Absolutely.
But after they do it, I say, hey, your next ride's on me. Or, when I'm giving them the ride, I'll say, I thank them, and I'll say, this is why the ride's on me. So, and they appreciate that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was going to say, people are willing to give up that information. At least, or even if it's their month that their birthday is in. But, my birthday is January 30th. There are places where you register what month is your birthday, January, when is your birthday, and you will have movie theaters, restaurants, all sorts of things that will send out birthday coupons, birthday, free appetizers here and there. I think people are willing to give up at least their birthday month more easily than some people think.
And we do, we make them,
And the same thing.
so we email out a newsletter but they have to subscribe to the newsletter.
Yeah.
And when they subscribe to it, we ask for some of that information too.
Yeah. And things like that.
So then we have it in our records.
Just one of the things that I would caution us, just because of, cyber attacks and cybersecurity, is making sure that wherever you are keeping that information, that it is secure and that there are policies in place to keep that information secure, so that you're not divulging inadvertently birthday and anniversary information for people, because sometimes it's security questions and stuff like that. So that's, make sure that whoever you're using, if you're using a marketing program, a Constant Contact or MailChimp that stores that information, that they have policies in place. So,
And of course, yeah, we don't store the birthday information on that, but we secure in ours
but
no other, but we also have a password. Again, there's only 2 people that can get into ours, me and one other person.
Yeah,
So no other employee can get in there and see it.
No, it's
Yeah,
a
when you're
good point
talking-
to remind people, though. You're
Yeah,
It
right.
is. I mean,
a lot
security
of
these days
people-
is important. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, so going back to relationship marketing in your area, start getting out in the area that you live in. Now, I'm going to go back to the business card, and I learned this a long time ago in a marketing summit I did in the mortgage business. When you're slow and you have nothing to do during the day, I'll take 10 business cards and I'll go out and meet 10 people, hand out those 10 business cards, and I won't come home until those 10 business cards are out. And in the mortgage days, we did that, and that actually works in our business too. I mean, it forces you to go out and do it. It forces you to say, all right, I'm going to go meet these people. I'm going to go introduce myself to certain people. It helps you not only meet the people, but helps you perfect your opening lines, your speeches. So when you do want to go into the front doors of business, et cetera, you've gotten better at it. You've gotten more consistent. You have an opening, you have a pitch. And I think you need to work on your pitch at home on your own, with a friend, with a colleague, whatever. Start developing your pitch, so then it comes naturally to you when you meet somebody. It's not, it doesn't have to be a total sales pitch, but I want to include their business in it. And by the way, let me bring that's another valid point. So with our clients, not only do we send out a newsletter every month, but we promote one client in the newsletter and their business too in our newsletter. So we're helping drive business to them also. So we promote what they do, how they do it if they want to be in the newsletter. I have in the car, while I'm hearing one client talk about something, I'll say, hey, do you need a good roofer? Do you need a good lawyer for this? Because we have one. And I've made a connection that way. I do believe in cross marketing and synergy that way. It builds loyalty. You're helping them and they're helping you. I don't want all the business just coming my way. I want to be able to help them also.
Yeah,
that synergy is important. Paula, you have something?
Yeah. If you're finished. One thing we talked about at the last breakfast meeting, a few of us, and I've talked to some operators afterward, is you never be intimidated to join a local group that you see a list of other companies on it. I made that mistake when I first started. I would go to all these trade shows and stuff, and I'd say, oh, the big dogs are here. I can't, no one's going to talk to me. And I've told this to Jim before he's heard the story. And I had to come to terms with it, because at the end of the day, one show in particular, a few years ago, there was a couple of operators who had all the hotels. Every hotel I walked to, their tables, a hospitality show. They were like, I already work with this one. I work with that one. And so the next time I went to a show, I said, I understand that and I respect it. But if there's ever, you need any additional help because they're busy or whatever, call us. And I think that's an important message, because sometimes I'll talk to people and they'll say, there's already so many people in that local group, or it doesn't matter. There's plenty of room for everyone, and competition is healthy that way. And more importantly, you might have something that the next person doesn't. And that might just be the one thing that a potential customer is looking for. So,
and there's a lot of people looking to make a change. I mean, there's some big people in our market.
Yeah.
And we had customers from them because, again, they forgot what helped them get there. So all of a sudden they realized, oh my, their cars were dirty, or the last time at the airport, they said this car was going to pick us up. Then they called us, said this car is going to pick us up. Then they called us, this car is going to pick us up. They went through 3 or 4 different cars, tired of that. I've gotten 5 really good clients that were with bigger people that say, I don't know why we didn't use you earlier. and they're like family to us now. We were invited to one girl's graduation, from college, because we took her everywhere in her family after they left another large company and worked with us. And they saw an Adamite. So you never know who's looking to make a change. They're happier with their service. Again, the smaller and mid-size, you could be flexible. You could be boutique. You could find your niche. The big guys, it's harder to be as flexible sometimes. So you never know what people are thinking if they're looking to make a change. It happens to us all the time in our market.
Yeah.
We had a guy come to us whose last 2 limos they used in the company didn't even show up. They didn't cancel. They didn't call. They didn't anything. They just didn't show up. And they saw ours. And again, we'd never not show up. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, but yeah, it happens. Stuff happens. So yes, don't be afraid to work with the big guys. And a lot of times, you as the owner are there. The big guys aren't sending the owner to these events most of the time, right? They're sending their salesperson, their manager, or whatever.
Absolutely.
A lot of people want to deal directly with the owner. And if you're there with the hands-on, you might get that account before they do. So just a thought, don't be intimidated. And if you are, just work on it. Work on it with a friend, work on it with a family member, work on it with a professional industry to help you perfect it. Your pitch, your marketing. I have to share this. I'm going to ask them if I can. I had an affiliate last night send me their affiliate marketing piece. It was about a 5-page folder. It was unbelievable. And listing literally everything they do, how they represent you, all their cars, all their rates, their certificates of insurance, all their licensing stuff for the market they're in. It was unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't believe how professional and how well done it was. I mean, a little lengthy, but it was impressive. I've never had another affiliate do that or show me that. There was a girl in the last meeting in Vegas from LA, I think, who handed out a card with all her rates in the LA market. Just a little postcard, but it was so professional, so well done. And I think it was like black with gold foil lettering on the top. And handed out to everybody there. I thought that was it. I mean, I'm not one to hand out my rates to everybody because we do have some rates are a little bit different for some than for others based on their, clientele, what they want, et cetera. I don't want to have a generic rate for everybody, but the piece was professionally done, was a good idea. She's relatively new in the business. So I'm sure it got her some exposure. Think of that too, by the way. We have Maryland coming up in October, the next NLA event. Think of creating your pieces now, before you go there, because most of us are not going to have an affiliate table in Affiliate Central. A lot of us don't. If you do, that's great. I'm sure you already have your marketing pieces, your handouts and all that stuff. A lot of you are just going to be walking through the Affiliate Central area, introducing yourself to people at the tables. Make sure you have a piece to hand out to everybody, not just your business card, or electric digital, but something to hand out to them. It tells them about you, your company, your fleet, how big your fleet is, because everybody's going to ask you those same questions all the time. So think of designing a piece that you're able to hand out, because really when you meet these people at the table, there's already a line there waiting to talk to them too. You only have maybe a minute, 2 minutes, maybe even 30 seconds to introduce yourself. Remember an old saying, your first introduction, is probably the most important to some degree. I know I'm paraphrasing that.
Yes.
So make sure you have that piece and you're ready to go. It's important. I mean, you can get it just as much as accomplished by walking through Affiliate Central and having a good professional piece and introducing yourself as you do probably, having your own table there to
Plus,
some degree.
I think
I don't want to say don't have a table, but most of us aren't. The smaller operators probably won't.
Right. Well, I think that's a good point. Like sometimes, if you're looking to receive work, but you're not really in a position to give work yet, probably having a table isn't that great of an idea. But if you have a marketing piece, to Jim's point, a lot of them have baskets on the table. They're too busy to talk to you. Don't worry about it. Make sure you leave it, because they are going to look at it afterward. They're putting those stuff together. Oh, I just got something from LexTex, or whatever.
Paula, I put something in the chat. It's a lead or a link to a lead page that I developed after I saw another local operator do something similar. And it's got basically what Jim was just saying with all the affiliate information, how our rates, the airports we service, how we price our chauffeurs, how they dress, and it's all a quick little link.
Yeah.
You click on it. I have it actually attached to the bottom of my email, so when the emails go out.
Is it somebody else's? Is it somebody else's information?
No, it's mine.
Yes.
I can't take the total credit for it because I sort of, I don't want to say copied, But nowadays I sampled somebody
Well, I mean,
else's.
so say if you're giving out somebody's information, I don't want you to share it without their permission.
No. It's
It's
mine.
his.
It's
He,
mine.
no, he said it was
Okay.
his.
It's in my link. All my associations that I'm part of, so
Yep,
when I
that's
saw it, I
important.
was like, damn.
It was,
I was like,
yeah,
damn,
when I
that
first
looks
saw
good.
this from this, when this guy's was so professional, he's out of DC. I
Mhm.
couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like an autobiography of his
Yeah.
company and him, and his equipment. So that was neat.
Yeah,
So
so
just,
if you get a chance, take a look at it. The person I got it from, his was more concise on one page where it had drop downs. So I couldn't do that on lead pages, so I just made it one long scroll. So but still, it gets the point across.
okay, thank
Before
you,
we-
appreciate that. So let's open up for questions now. If anybody has questions, I'll be happy to try to answer as many as I can.
Could I just add two small points? Because I made some notes. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. It was going so well and flowing well. With your business cards, consider putting your picture on your business card. On the
Amen.
front, on the back, somewhere. I'm older than a lot of you. I forget what you look like. I've had people walk up to me at the show and say, I met you already. And I have to go ding, ding. But also, it's another way to keep to solidify the fact that you're a business owner and all that.
Thanks. You showed it on the screen, not everybody, so that looks good. Yeah.
Right. The other thing is, if you are not a professional writer, or to Jim's point, it's important to put some very deep and but thorough information on here, hire somebody. It's not that much money. Write it yourself and get someone to edit. Because time after time, we go to websites and there are a lot of mistakes, a lot of typos, bad grammar, poor style guides. Forget the colors. I'm not even talking about that. But as a former editor myself, I sit there and look at it and I start to think there's no caring here. The person's just trying to save money. And I can't help that. That's just, I still, as executive director today, I have that habit of proofreading everything I see. It's the way we work. So I think if you want to set a good impression, there are writers out there they will definitely take your material and help you with it. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. Those are my two comments.
Well,
And
Paula, can I add something really
Yes.
quick? If you scroll farther up in the chat, I also sent it. I get a lot of, everybody gets them on Facebook, these groups. Oh, who do we got here? Who do we got there? And they'll people respond and say, and they'll just put their website address.
Yeah.
I go and I have a whole, just like I had that, like he's just showed there, a separate landing page. I have a whole other landing page that says, I'm in Cleveland. I said, I'm in Cleveland. Here's why I'm the best choice. There's a lot of great operators, but here's what sets me apart. And I post that instead of the website. So they're scrolling through, they see website, and they come across mine. They're like, wow. And I think I'm one of the smaller operators in Cleveland, but I think that has gotten me I'd say gets me 8 out of 10 affiliate jobs that are coming this way because of that.
by the way, I want
It's
to
just
preface this,
something that
people,
sets
when you see those posts, I know a lot of you put your phone number in the post. I would IM your phone number, not put it in the post. There's a lot of fake posts that go on there to take your phone number just to be able to call
Right.
you, and do telemarketing and pitch other things. Be careful about
Yeah.
putting your main number in the posts. IM them instead. Dave?
Yeah.
Dave Eckstein, you want to say something?
Yeah, as far as the business cards are concerned, one of the things that I always have issues with is when the business card is black on the front and the back, or it's glossy, so you can't write on it. All right, because like I don't remember everything, so I like to write on the card itself. Do I want to talk to this person or whatever the story is? So if you're going to do black, do the other side white. All right, so you can write on it.
We did that purposely in ours, our front, our black, but it has a QR code so they can scan it, go right to our website. But the back is white for that exact reason.
Yeah,
And it's not glossy. It's a matte. I agree.
I know.
And we also did the edging around ours in the same red that's in our logo on the edge of our cards. It's a little bit more money, but it does make it stick out and people like it. And we also did go to the thickest card we could find stock. People are like, God, this thing's thick because it helps them keep it. Again, you're making an impression in the first impression that people usually get about your business card. You're in a luxury business. I don't mind spending a little bit extra money to have a professional business card that looks good, as opposed to a cheapy one, the basic starter set from Vistaprint. But if you have to have something, at least have something.
You know, keep
know.
an eye on Office Depot, Staples. They have printing specials all the time. I use my own artist because we have one on the team, and he did some signs for the coffee, the breakfast meeting for ILLBA. We got a 40% coupon. I mean, there are all kinds of promotions, and you might be able to grab enough cards because what I wouldn't do if you're first starting, and made this mistake, don't order like 2,000 business cards. Order 500. You'll be surprised. You'll get maybe 6 months out of it, perhaps, maybe. But the thing is, as you start handing out that card, you might want to make changes. So if it's your first time doing cards, try to do them so that, sorry about the phone, sorry. So that you can test out the waters with the ones you have. But
This is the front of our card. The only thing, this
Yeah.
is, that we did add a QR code up here now, but just to give you an idea, there's the phone number and the website in the front, but again, the information's on the back.
yeah.
You'll see it. So just to give you an idea of what I was
Pictures
talking
are
about.
nice. Pictures
Yeah.
are nice. Pictures of you are nice too.
But
Pictures of you are nice too.
the best comment is put your city in there, because
Oh,
if you're doing
yes,
affiliate
thank you.
work, I hate at the end of the after I collect some cards, I got to go back and then I got to look it up, and then I got to look up a phone number because they don't have their city down there. And then nowadays, phone numbers don't always mean the region. So yeah,
Yeah,
I do a third of my business is outgoing affiliate work. So
very
I
nice, Dave.
I can never. It always irritates me. It's a big pet peeve of mine is having to look up the city, and I usually end up tossing the card at that point because I'm like, it's
You
just not
would,
worth the hassle sometimes.
unfortunately, you would not be the first one, and I've heard that from. Yeah, I had some from the last show. Not too many this time. I have to say they all had at least their name on it, but I've had some with no name, no city.
Or at least airport code. I had one guy just scribbled some stuff out, the other person's name, and put his own name in there. I just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
We can have a whole meeting on business
we
card etiquette.
could.
But
Do you have any other questions for Jim? Because I asked Jim Luff to stay for a few minutes and talk about the B4 networking event that we're gonna have at the Great Lakes Transportation Show. But if you have any other questions, Jake?
Yeah, just real quick, could you circle back to the thing that you said about the postcards with the post office? You said you just walk in there and you tell them, hey, I want these delivered to 60510.
It's at 11:30. They're on now, but they're gabbing about somebody's business card.
Okay, she won't say that anymore. Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry. Did you hear that, Jim?
I'm sorry, but no, I did not. Somebody sending me an order for today last minute. I've been
Sorry.
walking.
Yeah, no worries. So one of my questions was if you could just circle back real quick on the postcard with the zip code thing. So you just walk into the post office with a stack of your postcards and you say, I want these delivered to 60510. And then,
Yep, I'll put a link up there. You can check out the post office, so it explains that.
Great, thank you.
Hold on. Dun-dun. It's called Every Door Direct Mail, or something like that, or
What's the cost or something like that?
it's based on the number it's going out and the postage on it, the postcard postage, but it's not. I mean, you're not having to, buy a list and put all the labels on there. That's the good part about it. You're saving money on that.
Yeah, because marketing companies try and get us to pay them to do this, but it sounds like we cut them out of the chain. So that's perfect. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I got one for the association a few days ago, and it was, we'll print them, we'll mail them, and it was 65, 70 cents a postcard. That is way too high, in my humble opinion. And there was no guarantee that he would be able to, what the deliverability
What are the
rate was.
what are the requirements in that postcard? Do you have to have one side blank so they can stamp it?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you do.
Okay, all right, just check.
Yeah.
So basically, you design one side of it.
Mhm.
Right now they're saying it's 22 cents per piece, roughly. So for a postcard, or for marketing flat, they call it.
So cutting out the middleman, you probably do less than half of what they charge.
I'll put this post in there in a second.
All right.
To
So-
everyone.
Do we have any other questions before I ask Jim to speak? The other Jim. I don't know. Mr. Luff, I'm sorry. All right.
Well,
I think you're on.
Jim, let me just tell you, that was a great presentation. I've been in the business 32 years and you're doing it exactly the way that I did it. And I loved hearing that. It was almost a reaffirmation that I did a good job before I retired from running a limo company. Anyway, let me talk about B4 business. That's what's going to happen before the Great Lakes show. Before the show officially kicks off, we're going to have a room set up in a U shape. Now, I would probably venture to guess that none of you have ever participated in speed dating. But if you have, raise your hand if you've done speed dating.
Only once.
All right, Paula, when I get to Chicago, I'm going to have to hear that story. But if you think about it, speed dating, it's going to be like speed dating for business, except that you are going to be pitching your business instead of yourself and telling the person sitting across from you exactly what kind of vehicles you operate. And as Jim was talking about, you have to have a focus, a niche that you go after, whether that be retail, corporate, airport, travel work, whatever it is. That's what you want to tell the person sitting across from the table. We do only corporate work, or we do a mix of corporate and retail. Most of the people that you're going to be talking to at B4 Business are going to be limo operators that are farming business rides into your area or looking for rides coming from your area. The room gets very chaotic because there will be about 100 people speaking at one time in a back and forth conversation. I will coach you before we get started to say, here's the questions that you should be asking or the statements that you should be making. You will have approximately 5 minutes. I adjust the time depending on the number of people in the room, but if I give you 5 minutes, that means each of you has 2.5 minutes to pitch your business before one of you will move on to speak to someone else. One of you will remain seated and never have to move. So I'll give you a little clue. If you're coming to the event and you don't want to get up and move and carry your business cards and brochures, take the inside seat. If you're inside facing a wall, you never move. If you're facing the inside, every time I ring a bell, you're going to get up and move one seat to the right. It's going to be very fast, very energetic. But the reason that we do this before the show officially kicks off, it is a networking event. So during the event, you're going to meet every single person in the room and know where they're from, why they're there, where they operate, whether they're focused on retail or corporate. But it is a really exciting time. I know that Tim Wiegman has participated in a much larger version at a national show. This will be a smaller version, but Tim, shake your head if you think it was fun. And if you didn't, just leave your head straight.
I don't really remember it, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
I've been to a couple, so yes. It's
now
cool.
at the end of it, just like in a real speed dating situation, when we finish meeting everybody in the room, there will be a 30-minute block where you can have I'm going to call it your second date. If you found somebody that you really liked that you were talking to and you feel like, hey, there's potential synergy here to do business, you will have 30 minutes to step aside, go to a high top table and have a conversation with them. I'm not sure how we're doing it in Chicago. In Florida, we brought in lunch and people were able to grab a box lunch and sit down and have lunch together immediately after you met somebody. So I'm looking forward to hosting that. I've hosted it about 25 different times in different industries, and I think it's going to be a great time. I hope you'll attend. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Jim. Well put. I think it's fun. The first time I went to one, I had a little bit of anxiety because I wasn't used to the 2 minutes, and Jim keeps this thing moving very quickly and on time. So you have to be ready and have your pitch and your cards and everything in hand. And It'll work. The goal is that you'll be able to meet at least 50 people in that time frame, thereabouts, maybe more. Okay. Can we answer any of the questions for you today? I don't again, I don't want to keep too much, take too much of your time babbling, sorry. But I also want to remind you that if you're in the city, don't forget your tax filings that's coming due, April 15th. I'm not April 15th, August 15th. Well, we'll be in trouble if it was April. So don't forget, even if you are paying your daily tax, you must do an annual filing. Our next virtual coffee meeting is Tuesday, September 17th. And you'll see some updates on it in the next couple of months. And don't forget to save the date for our Great Lakes Show and get out there and register. If you need our help, reach out to the ILLBA office, or if you're in the ILLBA site, we'll be happy to assist you. If there's no other questions, I think Jim, I want to thank you today. That was great. I hope you all learned a lot. And now you'll find the tall man in the room and you can nag him all you want with marketing questions. No, I'm just kidding. But I appreciate people sharing, and it was a great meeting. Thank you all for attending. Look for the recording in a couple of days. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Paula.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Bye. Bye.
So we aren't
Thank you.
talking about topics for the show like Tracy had said.